This is an Ellis Mowers and More small engine repair. Stay connected on Instagram and Facebook at Ellis Mowers and More. Comments or questions? Leave them below or email me, ellis@ellismowers.com. Parts used in today's repair are found using the links in the description below. And as always, like and subscribe for more small engine content. On today's repair video, we're going to look at this John Deere D140 lawn tractor. It is, I got this for free actually from somebody that I have done some mower work for. It was just sitting in the back, and she said that it would continually blow fuses every time she went to use it because of some sort of wiring issue, which hopefully we'll be able to sort out here fairly quickly, because blowing fuses can't be with so much, right? Cleaned it off. It's got a little bit of hood damage. The oil is leaking pretty bad out of the outlet for where you drain the oil, and hoping that it's not blown up. But I don't really know too much about this machine, except that I got it for free and I loaded it on the trailer, and I've had it sitting probably 4 to 5 months now. Figure that this one might be a quick fix, and so that's why I've brought it out here later on in the season where I don't have a ton of repairs saddling me down like I did earlier in the year, just to try and get some stuff turned out here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get everything going with this. I'll show you around it. Show you what I think we've all got to do with it in order to get it back going again. So let's take a look around this thing. The left front tire is one that I put on. I had to rob it because it was actually a good tire for another repair earlier in the year. The engine, oh, that's good. Sounds like it's got compression on it. I'll put you on the tripod and we'll move it back around to see. Yeah, these have a 48-inch mower deck on them, 22 horsepower Briggs & Stratton V-twin. Don't know the model year of this one. I would guess it's about like a 15 or a 16. Oh, it's actually an 18. How about that? It's a 4.4. I can't see the number, but it's a 2018. It was made 10/19 or 10/29 of 2018. So this is yeah. So this is a six-year-old machine. Seems like it's been used pretty hard though. Let's see what the air filter looks like. The air filter is actually not bad on this thing. As you can see right there, not too bad. It's too bad that the mower's like rust and stuff is taking it over. But the issue is, I'll give you all a look around real quick at the remainder of it before I show you the issue, what I believe the issue is. Again, this thing's been sitting for a little bit, and so some of the stuff is kind of frozen up. Seat's not in the best shape, but I'll throw a little tape on it. I had a seat cover on this, but I robbed it for the X350 that y'all just saw on the channel here fairly recently. Come to the back of the mower. Looks like it was bought at Quality Equipment in Henderson, just up the road from me. The gas doesn't smell terrible. I'm wondering if I put oil in this thing and fix the fuse issue that it'll run. Deck just needs freeing up. I'll check the drive system on it as well. Let me see if I can get underneath for the drive belt and stuff real quick. See how that feels. It will probably need replaced. Make sure all the pulleys and stuff are operating correctly. I got one that feels frozen right there. So I'll make sure that I unfreeze that before we launch the belt on this thing. But the electrical issue that I think I'm dealing with is right here. So it's got to be, because they've taken the wiring off of for the headlights, and what I believe has happened, because the hood is damaged and stuff, so what I believe has happened is, let me grab a knife and make this life easier here, is that they cross these wires together. So I've got a dead short because it's going from a positive to a positive wire connected to a ground. Just don't jive. So, and I feel like that may be what has happened here. Although they do feel separate. So let me see. Let me see if I can get these out of here. This might be a process. So let me take this off. And it could be shorted in the starter solenoid as well, because one of those ends looks like it's very corroded. I'm going to get all this tape off and see what we are dealing with here. So after pulling the tape off, I'm fairly certain that this is the issue. So you can see I've got a melted connector here. So I bet these wires were touching either, excuse me. So I think I have found what we've got going on here. When I pulled this out, this connector is melted and it looks like these wires are bare. So what I'm going to do is just cut the wire off right here and cut the wire off right here. Now one other thing I saw, I think I showed it to y'all in the last clip, it's the starter solenoid. Terminal looks a little rough right there, and so I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. But let me see if this fuse is blown. This fuse is actually good, and I was supplied with a whole load of 20 amp fuses here, which is really, really nice. So some of them may be blown, some of them may be good, I don't know. But so that's good. What I've also got to do, I'll put a battery in it. I'm going to tighten this up because you can see it's loose. That's where all the oil leak is coming from. Hopefully it's not been ran low on oil. It doesn't feel like it with the compression. I checked it very briefly for y'all earlier. Let me just see. Feels like it's there, so that's good. And there's a blown fuse. So I'm going to put a battery in it, tighten that up, tighten this up right here, and see if it'll start. If it doesn't, I'm betting that I've got to do something with the starter solenoid there. Alright, so I've got the battery in it. I need to get a key, but I want to see if that's the issue that I have resolved very quickly. So let me find a key for it here, and I'm just going to bump it just to see if it'll turn over. I actually don't even know how many hours are on this machine, so this will be interesting. Let's turn the key. Ooh, 553. That's quite a bit. It did not pop a fuse. I am going to see if it'll just turn over though. Let's see. What you think? Probably not. I don't know about that starter solenoid. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that starter solenoid was bad. Like I said, I'm not going to try and start it here, I do just want to see if I cross these solenoid terminals, if it'll, let's see if it'll. PTO is good. I'm going to cross these terminals here. May not even be getting voltage down to the solenoid with the way that terminal is. Oh. Okay, so there we go. We got it clicking now, so that's good. So I need to put a solenoid in it. That ain't a big deal at all. I'm going to take care of that. Go ahead and put oil in it, grab me a wrench and get that nice and tight, and we will hopefully be in business. May not have to do carb work to it. I probably just spoke it into existence, but let me see if this. That carb solenoid is working like it's supposed to. Sounds like it. I'll tell you what, let me get oil in it. I'm going to change the starter solenoid out and we'll take care of it. Put oil in it. Figured before I go through the whole process of trying to put starter solenoid and all that stuff in, I just want to see if it'll run, because it will crank over on this solenoid. So I'm very curious to see what happens. Let's see. I know it has gas in it, so. Don't think it wants to go. It does have gas going right there. We'll get one more try before we spray it with carb spray. No. Okay. Let me get carb spray. That's a bit of a bummer. I was hoping that it would work. Let's see if it'll kick over with this. Yeah, so it's not getting any gas in it. No biggie. Sounds good though. Start on its own. Well, we have at least realized that we have fixed the fuse issue, so that's good. Ooh. Might need a valve adjustment though. think the starter's going bad. Well, the starter's not all that hot. That cable is. That cable's not. Very. Yeah, something's going on with this starter, or it could be the solenoid too. Just not. Something. I'm pretty sure it's something with the starter though, because it's actively trying to smoke from the bottom of the starter, so it means it's getting something to it. I could measure how many volts it's getting to it. I know the battery's good. The battery's got like 400 and some cold cranking amps, so I know it's not that. The starter is insanely hot. I'm probably going to replace the solenoid just in case, but I am going to pull this cover off, which is just a few 10mm bolts, and pull the fuel pump off of the cover. We'll pull this up, see how easy it is to turn this starter gear. The starter gear may just be seized up, and if I throw a little WD-40 on it, it may end up coming back. So let me see what I can do with that. Alright, I got the jack up. We're going to adjust the valves on it. The valves are just really, really tight, I think, and so just going to make sure that those are in spec, and I'm sure if this has not had a valve adjustment in 500 hours that it's probably way out. We got to figure out if it's actually still leaking oil from somewhere, or if it's just from where I'm turning pulleys and stuff now. I'll have to see, but I do see where it is trying to leak on me still. But I'll see. After I give it a good wash, I'll be able to see if it's leaking. What else am I going to show y'all? Put the new starter solenoid in. I adjusted the throttle cable just a little bit as well. And there's the new starter solenoid. And everything's working good with that. It's just the starter's having a really hard time turning the engine. And it is kicking back on me. I don't know if y'all saw that in a previous clip. But it is kicking back on me as well. And so what we're going to do is just pull the valve covers. Just making sure it's not leaking up top anymore, and it's not, so that's good. Pull the valve covers with some 3/8. And I might need a small screwdriver in order to pop the seal, especially if these have not been opened up. I know that this engine has been ran a minute or two, and that you're supposed to do this on a cold engine, but I want to see what's going on with it. So let's see if we can pop this off. Okay. All right. That one seems to be pretty far out. Yeah, these valves look like they're pretty far out, so I'm going to adjust them. I think you need like a T40 Torx and a 13mm. to adjust them. Just make sure that they are, you can have the engine at top dead center, or if one of the valves is pushed in here, just make sure that it's, you know, that usually means that this valve right here will be all the way out like it needs to be. So we got the intake being pushed in right now, which means the exhaust is being pushed out. I think these things are way out, so I'm going to adjust them, put them back together, and see if that fixes the issue. Got the valves adjusted. Everything seems like it's coming together so far, which is good. So I just need to source a couple of front tires that'll work on this. And I also want to see if it'll start easier now. These valves were pretty far out. They were, each of them was about over 10 thousandths. So now they're around 5 or so. We'll see if it's any easier to start. Let's see if it'll do it again pretty easy. Too. I do need to grease them still, and the mower needs a serious wash, so Alright, got this thing back in the garage. It's now time to put the deck belt on because I do have some blades for this, and hopefully this will work. So first off, you just got to take off the PTO belt. A lot of times I just round it off the front of the PTO pulley, just like that. Pull the front deck mount clip, pull that bracket off. There's a couple of middle mounts here as well that we have to pull off. Somebody's been in this because the back mount was on the wrong way. Just take it off, and then on this side same deal. You just have to take this bracket off and that bracket off, and these are on the wrong side currently, so I'm going to take care of that, and then we should just be able to slide this thing out from under here. We do need to do a decent amount of work on this thing, like I need to wash everything, paint it, potentially put deck spindles on it, because these deck spindles are not in very good shape. So let's see, middle mount here. So I put the wrong clips on, so it's a little more difficult to get off. Okay, but I did keep the washers. That's pretty rare. All right, release that. The mower deck should just slide out like so. So we've got some serious issues going on with some spindles, I think. So I'm not completely sure. That pulley seems a little tight. So I need to pull off these bolts and stuff just to see. Probably just need to grease this mess up really, really well if I were to guess. And if not, I mean, worst case, I put deck spindles on it, right? So, but I'll tilt the deck up here. And when we pull these off, I mean, like I said, the blades are pretty bad on it. At least this side was losing the edge, and I'm not going to let it. I got 2 okay blades I'll keep, but this side was losing its edge a little bit. So I figured this was just best to replace them all. I feel like these bearings are bad in here. You can feel like I can feel a bunch of play and stuff, so. They're making a horrific noise, so. Good news is I just got some that are basically brand new from a guy. He bought the wrong ones for his machine. You can see that they're not very long for this world. But yep, so I might just go ahead and replace all 3 of them, because I think I can get this tractor in fairly decent shape if I do that. Man, they're all just screaming, so especially the ones on the sides. So we'll go ahead and replace them all while we're here. It won't take too long. All you gotta do, turn the mower deck back over. And then we've got, what, a 15/16 right here. Got to pull this pulley off. You can see there's a bunch of play in this mower deck as it is. Just tap it just a little bit so I can get this. There we go. So Maybe a couple 10 millimeters as well to get this off. So I can get this pulley out. And then you have a bunch of 10 millimeters down here. I don't have to get my big 10 millimeter for that, but you literally take those 4 bolts off right there and put the 4 bolts back on, and you're usually good to go. So I'll show you all that here. Like I said, these blades are terrible, so or these spindles are pretty bad, so all 4 bolts are going to come off though. There we go. So 4 bolts are off, the spindle's off, and I mean, this one doesn't sound too bad, but man, there's some of these are screaming on here. So, and with I think I got 40 bucks and 3 spindles, so kind of a no-brainer for me to just go ahead and take them all off. Take these covers off. While we're here, and what I'll do is I'll just power wash this mower deck as well. I need to lube that up with some WD-40, get that freed up some more. Get some of that stuff inside the bearings there. The other pulleys seem to be moving okay. This one right here was the one that seemed to be struggling a little bit, so work that WD-40 in there. I can feel the bearing in that one going out, so let's see. Do that. Take this off. I'm going to do the same thing to the other 2. And then I'll put some new ones on. Like I said, I've got them. Just got to put them on. And this mower deck should be much, much quieter after we do that. Well, I just gave this thing a quick glaze over of paint in a couple of areas. I pulled the rubber pieces off the footwells and gave that a spritz of paint on both sides. And then the deck, I'm going to put some tape on the seat. I don't have another seat cover currently. And then I just got some yellow paint to paint the mower deck with. Y'all saw I put new spindles on it. Well, basically new. They were used maybe 20-30 minutes at the most, if I were to guess. And so it's going to look a lot better. It's obviously not perfect. I didn't take it and sand it completely down and stuff, but I did get it to where it is looking a lot better, more appropriate to what it should look like. I do need to clean the headlight lenses a little bit. It won't have headlights because I don't have the wiring for it, but it will have everything else. So ATF in at least the right side tires. I'll probably put a little bit on all 4 of them, and then we'll hopefully be done. So I just gotta get the mower deck back on. I got to put the blades on, and we'll be at the point to try it out again, and hopefully this thing ain't screaming like it was. I'm putting together a little bit more of a case, I guess, because I was thinking that this machine was, I was like, I thought the E series was out in 18, which it is. And so this engine's been replaced at some point, or at least the valve cover has been replaced, which is interesting. I have found the date code on the fuel line here. It says 2013, and so that's a lot more realistic. I'm sure that the model number on the back here would reflect the same thing. So that is interesting. That looks like this engine has been replaced. Yeah, so there we go. If y'all can see that. Oh, actually 2011. So this is a 2011 tractor. It has a newer engine on it, from what I can tell, which is great. Which means that the tractor itself has got less hours on it, or that the engine itself likely has less hours on it than the tractor does. So that's good. So y'all saw I painted everything. I do need to put the drive belt on because the drive belt is rough. These are just a little rough getting with the PTO clutch and everything. So you can see there's still some oil and stuff from where that thing was leaking. But the back 3 pulleys are pretty easy to do. You just have to loosen those 2 up and then just take it off of the back pulley. I don't think there's a guide or anything back there for that. And then you have to remove the PTO clutch on the front. So I think I've shown you how to do this a few times, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that and probably go ahead and put blades and the deck back on it. I did clean the headlight lenses a little bit as well. This mower won't have headlights just because of the wiring. It was all jacked in the front, but I did clean the headlight lenses to make them look a little bit better here as well, and put the tape on the seat. So I'm going to put the deck back on it. I got new blades for it from a supplier, from one of the Amazon partners that I'm with, and we'll put this back on, and hopefully this thing will run, drive, cut, and do all the good stuff that it needs to. Also the tires, these 2 tires came off of the front of another machine I have out there just because they were good. Had to put ATF in the right side tires and the left front here. And so between all of that, we should have a good machine. I should have this thing ready here within an hour or so. So when I get it all done, I'll let y'all know after I get it all knocked out here, get this belt back on, put the drive belt on. Alright guys, I got everything back together. It actually turned out pretty decent for what it is. It's kind of a pleasant surprise that the engine has been replaced on this. The mower's, what, 13 years old, the engine is 6. So, leveled the deck using the little the items on the side there. You just have to, I put a couple oil filters underneath the deck that are the same height and just level it that way. It seems to work pretty well. And got everything back on it. Drive belt's been replaced on it. Not too bad to do the drive belt. Couple of pulleys, there's a guide in the back. You have to take the PTO clutch off. You have to take the steering shaft off to get the belt in between all of that. The hardest part is getting the PTO clutch back on. Now, it should be ready. It should drive a lot better, or a little bit better now, because the belt was trashed. And we crank her up here. Take it out here and take it for a little bit of a drive. What do you think? So y'all hang tight after I get out here. It's a little bit busy down in the garage right now because I've had quite a few things come in. A couple of bigger projects like that X475 that needed a flywheel, but now I think the ignition coils are shot. But regardless. they're just kind of loud. It has, like I said, basically new spindles on it. It does sound a good deal better though. A little bit quieter, which is good. So, I guess I'll take pictures of it. We're done with this thing. Don't have any grass to cut currently because we haven't had a rain for a few days. But I think it's time to take some pictures and list it. Well, I got it all shined up here, ready for sale. Hopefully somebody will come and pick this thing up. I'm probably going to list it for like $900 or $950, just because it's a little bit cosmetically, got some cosmetic issues and stuff on it. But I mean, it runs, drives, cuts like it needs to now. I don't know why the deck is still loud after I put them new spindles on it, but it's still going to work just fine. It's not wearing the belt weird. And if I remember correctly, these decks are on the louder side anyways. I just think it's because of the way that the noise travels. When I did put the covers back on it, it did seem to make it a little bit better in terms of noise. But got it all sorted out. Again, I didn't pay a dime for this thing. The battery may have been good that was in it too, I don't know. But I swapped the spindles out. I had 40 bucks in the spindles. The old spindles might actually be okay because it didn't really quiet the deck down that much. I might use them on a machine that's going to be a little bit worse shape, like a cheap John Deere in the future. I'll keep them. But new blades, they were supplied by Boulari, so that was nice. Put a little duct tape on the seat, changed the oil in it, replaced the drive belt, and fix the oil leak that it had, and most importantly fix the issue why it was blowing fuses. So that's why it was given to me originally. Got all that sorted out. This machine is ready to go, and hopefully this thing will get out of here before the grass really stops growing here toward the end of the season. It was late August now, and so don't really have a lot of time left in the mowing season, maybe a month and a half to 2 months. So just gotta see if I can get this thing to move, along with the X350 and the X500, which I still currently have, and hopefully all three of these will get out of here. You know, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if I didn't get any trays and just got straight cash for them, because I've got plenty of machines down there to work on. Most of them, or some of them that really don't need too much, I just got to get them in the garage and get some time with them in between customer repairs. Picked up another one yesterday as well, Craftsman. So we'll see what comes down the pipe here on the channel. I do appreciate y'all watching, and just remember, if y'all see product reviews, that is a huge part of what I do in my day-to-day as well. Some of them have YouTube obligations. They will never, ever, ever, ever supplement for the regular Wednesday and Sunday videos that we have here on the channel, unless they are a direct correlation to me repairing a mower. So keep that in mind. It's just, you know, it's a money thing. Product reviews are making just as much, if not more money than the YouTube right now, and so I kind of have to balance everything, and you know, being able to resell those reviews and stuff off. So appreciate y'all's grace in that. But the mower videos gonna be 2 a week for as long as I can continue doing them, and I hope y'all enjoy it. I hope y'all enjoyed the restoration of this D140. Hopefully we'll get this thing out of here. Thanks again for watching this small engine repair on this D140, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.